Welcome to the most action-packed hour at TVOT. Yay! I feel like I should have the Showcase Showdown music playing in the background. You know, Tracy, did you know the closest I've ever been to being a game show host is one time I modeled Vanna White's dress. Long story, okay?
I need to hear that story.
Okay, later on.
Okay, our trophy will be here tomorrow, but we will have it.
Tracy says we've hidden the trophy under one of your seats. Everyone get up and look. No, okay. It is in an undisclosed location, probably on a UPS truck right now. So in the place of trophies, there will be people who win the Dragons of Design mug. So we have one for People's Choice and one for the Judge's Choice. So let's hop into it. So, and excuse me if I keep having to turn around, okay, because I need to kind of see this too. So here's our format. So welcome to Dragons of Design. We will be doing a review with our dragons here. They sound like Iron Chefs to me. We'll do interdictions with them in just a second. We'll have a lightning round review of several of the entries and some highlights, different things that we want to show you. They're really interesting, we think. There are going to be a lot of videos, lots of show and tell here. And then we'll be talking about the finalists. Then we'll do a People's Choice vote. The People's Choice vote is a popularity contest, unlike the judges' vote. So tweet your friends, get them in here. It will be an applause meter, so attendance counts. And then we'll be doing the winner of the judges' pick, and we will see if they got it right compared to your vote. So let's hop into it. So first, who are these Dragons of Design? So our first dragon, we have Fabian Bergfeld, W12 Studios, Joel Grenier, UI Labs, Olivier Lacour, Cisco, Rebecca Rusk-Lim, Turner, David Lipkin, Method. And then we had two additional judges who helped in the contest who are not on stage right now. That's Lenny Melamidas, veteran here, from AdGrilla, and then Gerard Kunkel from Nautic TV. And my name is Wes Williams with Scripps Networks. I work with TV Everywhere, product management. So that includes brands such as HGTV and Food Network. So first we're going to toss it to Rebecca so she can tell us a little bit about what we've been up to at Turner.
All right. Well, what, the dragons? So this is meant to be a showcase, so I'm going to whip through these really, really fast. And we're going to talk about CNN Go later, since it was one of the finalists for everybody who read the blog. So Sunday night, I missed the beginning of the Heroes show on CNN, and honestly, I like Anderson Cooper, but if you'll go forward, I like this guy better. So I can use the, on the left side of the screen there, that's basically a DVR that's on your iPad in this app. And so you can roll back in time and you can pretty much watch whatever you want. And then in the last 24 hours and on-demand content, as well as for the story that's on, there's some curated content that's down the bottom there. And so if you go to the next one, while the story was on, this was actually, I could scroll through a whole gallery about this guy and why he's a hero and what he's working on. And so this really, we have an editorial team now at CNN that's actually placing this content in there, so it's not an algorithm bringing it, but it really is an amazing connection between linear and digital. So the next one is March Madness, which everybody knows and loves. This is probably the app at Turner that gets the most usage. If you go again, like get to the game immediately, but then a lot of people want to do other stuff while they're watching the games, so there's all kinds of different stats that you can get to and social and all kinds of fun features. And it's also, you can see scores, you know, on the mobile platforms, and the app is very similar cross-platform. And then this was one of the first ones we did, a second screen experience with ACR. And this was a framework that actually had content management system, ad serving, social, CMS, and the video player. So we did the TBS, you can go forward, and we did Falling Skies with the same platform and a couple other ones, and again, it's consistent across platforms. So that's our quick Turner showcase.
Thank you very much, Rebecca. All right, next we have two of our panelists who are going to be talking about something new called Show Me, which is being demonstrated out in the lobby. So first let's start with David. We're just going to...
Hi, I'm David Lipkin. I'm from Method. We are a design firm. So we've done a lot of work in the interactive TV space. Good things like Boxy and Fancast. We actually did the March Madness work with Michael Adamson some years ago. We've been in the space a long time. I think, like the rest of you, we know the space is sort of fragmented. It's hard to differentiate new products. So we worked with Rogers and UI Labs to develop what's called Show Me, which is meant to be basically a Netflix competitor for the Canadian market. I think the trick going into this was like, how do you compete with Netflix? They have a bigger, badder robot than we've got. Algorithmically, we're not going to have better recommendations. We're not going to have a bigger library, but how can we do something different and better? So what we thought about was, let's create a brand, let's create a promise that allows better content, more personally connected to people to sort of surface. So some of that started with basic things like the name, right? It's a call to action. Show me is a request. It's the start of a conversation between a user, a viewer, and the company itself. Even just the logo, it's a blinking cursor, right? It's waiting for input. What we're trying to do there is solve some of the discovery problems that have been real challenges in this space, and to start to create some ability for people to interact in a way that they would find content and make the discovery maybe as enjoyable as the consumption or closer. So, show me the next episode. Show me what's popular. Show me a surprise. Things like, how do we start to create like little sentences, like almost like a Mad Lib, as a way of helping people find something, right? So, show me a collection that's educational and funny, for users, Ted and Lucy, like Finding Nemo, right? How would we create something on the other side of that? How do we have curators who actually can provide that content? So what we start to see here is like, we had a concept, right? We had a concept for how this brand would work, but we needed to actually work in the user experience and get pushed into the product itself. So you start to see things like, we have a collection, we have a curator in this case, Guillermo del Toro, or the best of Will Ferrell, or the best of Wes Anderson, the best kisses, the best car crashes, right? Simple things that people have talked about for a long time, but we really tried to make this the center of this product, which is we're going to have a smaller library, we're going to have better content, and we're going to expose it in a better way. We tried to sort of channel Roger Ebert. Like he's your enthusiast best friend who knows a lot about movies, and he's so excited about them, you want to sort of take part with him, right? Instead of, again, the somewhat, the Netflix big blockbuster sort of view of the world, which is a little generic, and just a little like it's a bunch of top tens and a bunch of random crap in the middle instead of like things that have been selected for you. So there we go. Show me Moonrise Kingdom, show me new releases, right? Again, pushing it all the way through. We wanted to have sort of simple interactions that really start surfacing content, functional UI bits. Like you see the identity there becoming a search term that actually provides content back to you.
So try this in the lobby. It looks neat.
Yes, it's in the lobby. So some simple, again, how it might work in the branding, show me entertainment, show me something for the whole family, show me the next episode, show me some eye candy, right? Just simple ways of actually making the content come to life for people in a way that you wouldn't normally see in products like this. We often start with ideas like this, where we have a brand promise, we have something in name, we have something in user experience and functionality. It's often hard to push it all the way through the product and see it actually launch that way. Working with Rogers, working with UI Labs, we've actually seen this one come to life the way we imagined it, which is lovely and surprising, and we're pretty proud of it. So, Joel?
Yeah, here, I'll take that clip.
Great.
Actually, the video's ready to go.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, Joel, actually, why don't you just explain what we're going to see in the video?
Yeah, sure. So basically what we've got here is just, we put together a bit of a sizzle reel for you guys to just sort of see the product in action. It's hanging out in the hallway up there, so you can touch and feel it and play with it. But we'll run the reel and walk you through a few more pieces,
All right.
hopefully.
We're just going to jump ahead to slide 28. Okay. Oh, if you can just jump to 28.
Technical difficulties.
And we have a large number of videos. And by the way, we've edited those videos down already. We had some very long ones, and we had a lot more entries than last year. We had them from all over the world. So it's really neat. Here we go.
Thank you, Matt Nelson. Really, David touched on it here, right? So the thing we always find is that from an experience perspective, there's a lot of compromise along the way. And so at UI Engine, our UI framework really allows you to get the aspirational design that you're looking for, to get it cross-platform, to get it performing at a level that it should be. And I think we've all seen on different panels today that there's been a lot of conversation around being able to access content, enjoy digesting the content and getting to that content. And there's all these really interesting things that we were able to do with Show Me to allow users to get to that content quickly that maybe you would have typically been able to cut a corner to get it out to market quickly. But we were able to achieve that. And so one of the big things that we look at trying to solve is, this fragmentation issue. It's not just an Android fragmentation issue, but it's platform fragmentation across the board. Yesterday we announced that we're going to be working with Sony Crackle. And one of the big reasons there is Sony has their product that's deployed across 31 different devices, it's a huge logistical undertaking to sort of manage those things. And so we sort of are able to design a tablet experience, a handset experience, and a 10-foot experience and sort of manage and build and create changes to those platforms independently. And it performs great on all these platforms, like on a Roku 3 or an Xbox One or whatever the case may be. So we're able to get that aspirational design that people are trying to achieve typically. The disparity between some of the products right now in the market on the different devices that they appear on are pretty dramatic in some cases, and our technology and our framework allows us to really build that consistency and allow you to get that performance that you're looking for a user. So it was great working with the team at Method and taking that baseline and working with Adobe to really bring this product together. So we're looking forward to doing more. So we've got a lot on the go, so it's great.
Okay. Thank you very much. Right, Fabian, why don't you give us a quick tour of W12?
Great, so I'm not going to show any work, which is great because we're going to see lots of it. So what I want to show, partly because I cannot show any work, all our work is under NDA. We are a very young agency, we're 2.5 years old. We are about 40 people, we have a very strong heritage in TV. So my business partner and I, we used to work at the BBC, where we sort of have seen firsthand the complications of designing for TV doing the iPlayer, which has to work on all TV platforms, on all consoles. So those were the big constraints. So what I thought might be meaningful in this context, to not show designs, which I can show, but actually show some of a very simple framework that we use to essentially approach most of our TV projects. And we work with, we developed the OnQ TV platform, we work with Intel, we work with Verizon, we work with TV, we work with Samsung, we work with all sorts of different companies from different angles on TV, whether it's on a set-top box, whether it's over the top, or whether it's in an app environment. So this actually quite simple product framework has held up so far, so I thought I would quickly walk us through it. We think that TV essentially has three basic components to it: TV heritage, technology, and brand. So let me talk you through each one of those. Can we go to the next slide? So TV heritage is, and I think this is kind of why we're having all these debates. It always hovers between being a revolution and evolution. And for us, it's being very mindful about what are actually the things that we want to keep about the TV and what are the things we want to change about TV. So we fundamentally believe, like everybody probably does, that content is at the core of TV. So we always say content wears the crown, content is king, and context wears the crown. So programs is in focus. I think the best way to enable quick accessibility to programs is to maintain the channel model. So we basically do not think that the apps environment is suitable for TV content because it provides multiple different interaction models and creates a lot of other problems for users, such as discoverability. So channels is something we want to secondly enable and maintain. But then it's about creating new models for channels to provide continuous forms of entertainment. And I think those three things are the key ones for the TV heritage. Brand is something which we feel is something that's very easy. It's a nice sort of follow-up on what David was talking about. I think obviously when you say content is king, you always want to create, oh, the best UI is no UI. Well, that's really bad news for most broadcasters and service providers for whom brand, and that's their core business. So we believe the key to create a compelling brand experience is actually to create cinematic interfaces where you use movement, and movement is very native to TV anyway, to create signature experiences. So it's about defining what are those hero moments, creating signature moves that are iconic and replicable and scalable across platforms, to create unique animations that are again ownable and create that kind of brand recognition on the UI. And thirdly is to really create delightful interactions. And I think there's an increasing user expectations because all other platforms enable pretty animated interactions to have the same on TV. Least but not last, for us in particular as a studio, we have about a third of our team are creative technologists and motion designers. So they develop very delightful and sometimes rather complicated motion behaviors. Those are really complicated to communicate to developers so they can actually translate it. So we developed a bunch of sort of proprietary deliverables that actually quite detailed spell out what those motion behaviors are. And that's a combination of videos. Motion red lines is a different form of interaction with a deliverable, and prototyping. So I think many of these tools that you need to develop to actually be effective designing for the big screen, I think we still have to develop. So those are the three things that I wanted to say. And we're going to see plenty of nice videos next.
Thank you very much, Fabian. All right, Olivier, why don't you tell us what you're doing at Cisco and what's new this year?
So I'm gonna show even less than you've shown. And the reason why is that, first of all, you can check what the Cisco studio is doing on the snowflaketv.com website. But mainly it's because what we've been focusing on since 2 years actually will be shown at upcoming CES. And what we've been working on is a redesign, a re-foundation of the television experience at Cisco, leveraging our cloud capabilities, our IT capabilities, and our software engineering capabilities. So I'm talking about 7,000 engineers and Cisco IT backing everything that we do at the design studio. This will not only leverage the storage, sync, and adaptable capability of the cloud. It will reshape the TV foundation at large. So I think that what makes us somehow different is that we have an end-to-end perspective from the television experience. It's not only about designing a nice client view of the UI, it's about making sure that the end-to-end is actually valuing what is facing the users. I'm talking about features, I'm talking about metadata, I'm talking about recommendation, I'm talking about software APIs and SDKs. So to not only do one nice shot in one country or another, but to provide something that can scale and hopefully be some kind of a new milestone for this industry. So if you've passed by CES coming up January, pass by the Cisco booth and hopefully you will be surprised.
Thank you very much. Now it's time for our lightning round where we give you a quick tour of entries into the Interface Showcase. Then we'll proceed to the finalists and the People's Choice vote. So this is going to be a quick tour in 10 minutes or less. So we'll run through these quickly. Let's start with Meme TV, and an interesting way to create memes right off your TV screen. Judges, feel free to grab a mic and jump in at any point during these. So, a cool, interesting way to make it from your TV screen. Next, Jump View, a new way to watch stories.
Once you're on the player, pick a character or characters that you want to watch. Click on one and his or her timeline will appear. Now click on any white dot in the timeline. That character's story will play. You watch the story through his or her eyes. You can choose to watch a single character from beginning to end, or jump back and forth through multiple characters to gain a more in-depth perspective of the story and how those characters interact with one another. If you joined via Facebook, you'll see all your Facebook friends that are also viewing your Jump View. Click on any one of them to see what characters and scenes they've watched.
Once
We did this
you
for
have
recipes.
access, click on Jump View your recipe. You will now see all your dishes populated on a timeline. This timeline tells you when you need to start each dish in order to be done by the time you want. Simply click on the first white dot to start the video.
Well, there's no way my roast is going to get a fair trial in.
You can click on each dot, you can see the step of it. And by the way, in that entertainment piece a second ago, you have to watch at least 2 characters all the way through to be able to unlock the ending. And you can see what your friends have watched on Facebook out of it. Autograph just slides here, no video. So this is a recommendation engine, that's hence the auto part of it. You do a quick setup and then it will recommend content to you. One interesting thing out of this, though, I thought, was this group viewing. So it can take the preferences of a group of you and figure out what the group should probably want to watch. And then Web Tuner, I think this ought to get the award for the most interesting form factor I've seen here.
This little device is actually a powerful computer. Just plug it into any socket, connect to the internet through Ethernet or Wi-Fi, and HDMI to your TV. Channel numbers and show titles will display across the bottom. Titles, movie length, and ratings their movies. And who knows, maybe you'll find something new. Flip over our remote and start searching. Because after all, the killer app for television is watching TV.
I love that tagline. All right, next we have something from Golf Digest. This illustrates how, for an interactive smart TV app, they had to go out and shoot these menu videos from the ground up and plan where everything was going to be on the screen. We're always talking about trying to bolt on this kind of interactivity, but they did it right, though. They went out and they shot these things with all the framing in mind out there in the field. Otherwise, it's an app full of golf lessons and tips. Nagra was here last year. They have updated their 4K TV interface so that it also works on regular HD TVs, not just 4K. And then a Rabbit TV Plus. Judges, anybody want to comment on the interface we see here? I mean, it's certainly a very different interface than we've seen in a lot of other providers.
I thought it was a little, there was a lot of interface. I thought it was,
Mike.
I thought there was an awful lot of interface here, and it was confusing. There was different frameworks. I didn't know what to think about this one, to be honest.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of different interfaces come in this year for EPG kind of stuff.
Yeah, so
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I just thought some of theirs was sort of duplicative, you know, and the ribbon and other things on the side, there was just too much of it.
Yeah, yeah, a lot of evolution and experimentation going on. Time Warner Cable, just some screens from their interactive guide here, and show pages and search. Yeah, everybody's trying to figure out ways to get you the content, and there are as many different ways right now to present it as there are companies. This is an interesting user experience.
I'm going to quickly select my own profile, which will open up the AO experience. Everything starts from this launcher. At the top of the screen, you'll see 4 options: live TV, web TV, video on demand, and applications. Hovering over video on demand, similar experience. If I see a video on demand title I like from the flip bar, I can immediately go into that video on demand asset and watch it directly from this screen. But if I've already watched that, or I'm not interested in that episode, the platform will make a set of recommendations around video on demand assets that can be either TV everywhere or web content that the user can launch directly from the program guide at this point, and these assets will play out one after the other from its starting point, very much mimicking another live linear channel, with the unique opportunity for you as an operator to place highly targeted ads in between each of these assets as they play out.
Judges, what did you like, and why didn't it make the cut to be a finalist?
For me, it lacked a little bit of a brand presence. It was just kind of really stock, a lot of black and gray. The show cards stood out, but outside of that, it just didn't really feel like there was a lot of presence there. It felt pretty standard. There wasn't anything that jumped out at me when I was reviewing it.
You know, being sort of meta-driven data, I think they're probably metadata-driven, and you lose, you know, you lose anything for people to really grab onto besides the things they already know.
How should you be driven?
I think that you need to use a combination of metadata and something editorial or something a little beyond that, because the metadata stuff it's a hard approach, right? Because it doesn't allow a consumer to do anything other than just sort of like scroll through long lists unless they know exactly what they want.
Okay. All right, quick look at Pixel Mosaic, which is aware of your device.
The main sort of
context
content
provided.
item on here could be BBC News, but we can also show at the same time a different video, you know, sort of business weekly from your own news for the users, so they can get a view of both of those types of content they're interested in.
Later shows that when you're at the office in the afternoon, it would show you different content targeting that. It would show you different content act differently when you're on the commute on the way home. It would know, hey, we should just play content that is locally stored on the device rather than content that would be streamed and use your bandwidth.
On this one and the previous one, actually, it's stunning how the defocus on the UI from a client perspective is highlighting the need of a robust backend capabilities. As you stated, the zero UI approach and alongside that one is actually getting down to nothing if not fully backed up by a backend or a true cloud that pulls not only the metadata but also the features and the personalized experience from it. So it's interesting to see that with these two approaches, that how much the client view and the backend view are actually so tied together. So if one is not supported by the other, the whole thing is actually collapsing. I think it's a learning from us from a design standpoint. It's not only about what you see.
Yeah, I felt in that last one that there was a lot of saturation of content too. Like all these videos trying to be forced in front of the user's eyes like right away. Mm-hmm. And so just that cognitive load of like, wow, it's like driving on a highway and seeing a lot of billboards at you and you don't really know necessarily where to look. And then it was, well, how do I like the idea of being context aware and potentially offering up content based off of that, but the presentation layer of it just kind of threw me off because it was just really overpowering me.
I fully agree. It's TV mosaicked on steroid. It's the push model down to the extreme, so it creates actually the exact opposite of what you're looking for.
It's counter to what I want to do, which is just having choice is still okay, and hitting a play button is not the end of the world.
Agree.
You know, also, just there's a lot of predictive interface out there, and not much of it works well. You know,
no, and
predictions aren't good, and like, let's not forget this is entertainment, right? It's not It's not like, oh, I'm driving, so I need that map data, so like the system knows exactly what I need. Like, this is all just, it's entertainment, right? And so knowing what people are going to want is hard.
Yeah, I mean, I felt with that one, it was all about the functionality and there was just too much going on. Like, I wondered if they had done study to say somebody would want something like that, right? That somebody wanted all those elements in one thing, or maybe they did, but you know, I just, that would be a very specific kind of user. I don't think it had wide appeal.
Okay, real short, then we have one more to go to.
Yeah, just one footnote to all. I think what's mostly missing to me is sort of the idea of a continuous experience. I think there's the underlying assumption that there's a stop and go. I stop and choose, and whether that's a recommendation algorithm, whether that's metadata, whatever it is. But I think for me, the underlying one of the key principles of TV is that continuous, seamless behavior, and I think it's always disruptive, no matter how smart the metadata is.
Okay, let's move on to Fan TV. Last one, the lightning round before we go to
First, you
finalists.
see this as the device. It's obviously a small, little, beautiful piece of equipment, and what you're presented with. CNN looks just like CNN would. When you flip up to see channels, though, it's A to Z. They add favorites or show more information about the content. And here we're going to go into how could we watch this if we wanted to. If it wasn't on right now, we could buy it or rent it. We can add it to our watch list so we can see it later on, or even
The cut with you all.
I picked it. It didn't make it, but I picked it. I had a real appreciation for the fact that there was some real thought put into sort of the hardware development and how that matched to sort of the experience side of things myself. I think there's definitely some things that could have been better, but I think the strategy of the company is basically they're aggregating a lot of stuff, and that's really hard to do, I think. And so trying to aggregate VOD and live and sort of freemium stuff and all that kind of thing it's really tough to cram all together. I think they did a good job, but to me it was the marriage between the hardware and the interface was kind of nice to see for a change versus kind of one or the other.
All right, sir, I'm going to have to end the lightning round there. We're going to move on to the finalists, the ones who did make the cut. All right, you each have a green envelope. All right, we're going to go one by one and open those and reveal the finalists. Yes, Tracy posted them on her blog Friday, but if you didn't read that blog, well, first of all, shame on you, and now you don't know who the finalists are. But we do. And by the way, the judges have already voted, but even they do not know who the winner is. Okay, so Fabian, would you please open your envelope? Who's the first finalist we will discuss?
IT cast for ITVT.
All right, David, will you please click on the first one? Faces actually. Or Korea. Different way to look at this, much more app-like. It seems like all the different screens are being designed the same way. People want a consistent interface. Some, though, are going that app route, and some are going more of a, we'll say, Windows 8, more of an Android look. So what made that one resonate with you?
Well, some of these aggregated sites, I just have this song in my head. It's like Brand Killer, Qu'est-ce que c'est? I mean, you don't see the brands enough, right? So I like this one, the first version of this one, because it felt more like a branded, the TV brands themselves stand out better than in some of the others.
Mm-hmm. You don't disappear into the infinite channel universe. Okay. All right, anyone else?
I think So I think, because these are demos, it's hard to figure out how someone's really going to work. Some of the up, down, left, right navigation can be like simple, intuitive with the 5-way. But there's some other places where they mix some other things in there where I wasn't quite sure what was going on. So, I gave them credit for that. I gave them credit for like what I thought was just decent basic graphic design. Again, I struggled a little bit to know whether this is going to work well in real life or not.
Okay. Olivia, please open your envelope. Tell us who the next finalist is.
No, just on that one, I think that, too much focus on the UI and not the UI to actually log on to the content. I think it's a huge mistake, actually. Peel for smart remote.
Peel turns your smartphone into remote control. Now your remote is smart. What can a smart remote do? Control your TV, control your set-top box, even program your DVR. But it can do even more than that. Peel keeps track of your preferences and what you like to watch, and then recommends other shows and movies you're going to love. Just tap Watch Now, and it will automatically tune you in to your favourite shows. Want to watch later? Peel will set a calendar reminder or program your DVR. Peel also makes it super easy for you to share with your friends or engage with anyone watching your favourite shows. Go to any show page to read a review or check out the latest Twitter posts. Peel uses a special
Has some time. So, any thoughts, though, Jim?
all the relevant hashtags.
This one didn't actually make my list, but what I did appreciate was the technical design aspect of it, actually. I've seen a lot of virtual remotes. I think a lot of the UI that we're seeing here feels kind of stock for the most part, but the one thing that I really enjoyed was the technical design of the tune-in feature, and I think the idea that they were able to integrate that into very key areas within the application, like the social aspect, where you could see somebody's tweet and then be able to instantly tune to that piece of content, kind of amp that little feature up a little bit that you wouldn't necessarily see elsewhere. So I give it a thumbs up from a technical design perspective for sure.
I like the fact that they didn't just reinvent a standard remote control. They instead looked at what a mobile device is good for. Bigger screen, looking at pictures, simple activities like that, and used a remote in ways that is appropriate for the screen, right? So they thought about the interfaces they've got and they used them well.
Okay. All right, David, why don't you open the next envelope? Who is our next finalist?
While he's opening the envelope, these guys have innovated into the go-to-market strategy of changing the TV. Not a great design, but a fantastic concept.
Okay.
Showtime for Show Sync.
Number 5.
I simply want to answer the question, what happens to the body during sex?
Showtime has redefined interactive television in both design and user experience. This innovation is apparent in the interactivity for Masters of Sex, which tells the story of Dr. William Masters and Virginia Johnson. The cutting-edge experience is first encountered with the ease of entry into the interactive program. In an industry first, there's no app to install on smart TVs. Automated content recognition lets users enter the enhanced experience with a single click of the remote. And on iPad and iPhone, the app seamlessly synchronizes with the program. Once the app is synced with an episode, segments glide into view. On the TV, content subtly animates on and off screen as an elegant lower third overlay. And on iOS, the app uses clean, refined transitions for a fluid stream of content. The app navigation has been minimized so that the content takes center stage. On all platforms, interactive moments are precisely timed to support the storyline and never compete with it. Lush unit photography and visuals designed to evoke the period define the look and feel of branded polls, predictions, and trivia. Integrated points and customized badges reward die-hard series fans. Designed for the multitasker, users can browse other content and even leave the app while still remaining synced to the program. demonstrating
That's
Showtime's
magic.
commitment to design the experience around the way people actually use their devices.
All right, judges, I know this was a popular one. What did you think?
I think the demo said it pretty well. You know, it's content first. It's minimal interface. It actually pays attention to how people really use products like this. It looks good. I think those are all winners.
I think what differentiates this one is it actually helps the storytelling. And there's a lot of stuff out there that just does not. And I think they've been really sensible about how many elements, how they time it, and never take away from the story.
Yeah, Showtime was here last year and won an award, and certainly nice improvements this year, too. Okay, Rebecca, why don't you open the next envelope? Who is our next finalist?
All right. CNN Go.
All right, full disclosure. So yes, Rebecca talked about CNN Go earlier. The envelopes were distributed randomly. Maybe I should have rigged it so you didn't end up opening CNN Go. Sorry about that. But okay.
Yes, and since I advised on it, I reclused from some of the voting.
Yeah, Rebecca voted in the initial round that we did, the first vote, and when CNN Go became a finalist, Rebecca's vote did not make the difference, so it didn't, sway us,
I didn't sway
And
him.
then she recused herself from the finalist vote for the winner and from runoff that we did, so it's all above board.
Okay.
So, all right, let's see, CNN Go is number 2.
3, 2, 1, let's go to VTR 5.
See that new day piece from earlier on caffeine and exercise?
Set exercise, play, and cut.
And then, how about we look at this other thing from, Dr. Sanjay Gupta on vegan diets.
Problem set, diets, play.
Screw it. Play Anthony Bourdain, I can take it. Ooh, there it is. Oh, it's hot. Oh.
Introducing CNN Go. Watch what you want, when you want, live or on your own time.
It's so spicy.
I love the promos that y'all did for that and with Conan, when his app rolled out. So that's great. I've got a few screenshots just to show the app actually in action. So there's a big ad I see that loads, when it's building your experience.
Yep.
And then some of the things that you showed us earlier.
Yeah, I mean, the main point, or one of the main points of CNN Go is to have a really compelling TV everywhere experience. I mean, this is authenticated because it's the CNN live stream. So we were trying to come up with things, that will help push the authentication rates and get people in there and give them some extra content because they went through the pain of the, logging in and signing in, I should say, and everything. But the other part, which I mentioned before, that really sets this one apart is that it's curated by part of the editorial staff that actually sits in the control room. So as things are moving, they move with it.
All right, Joel, who's the final finalist?
The final. FreeSat.
FreeSat. Let's see. FreeSat is number 3.
We love telly as much as you. But with over 200 great channels available on FreeSat, you're spoiled for choice. So we've made it easy to find something great to watch with the brilliant new Showcase. Our team of telly addicts are constantly searching for amazing shows to recommend to you, so you can make the most of your box. Now we can bring you even more top telly picks, so you can plan your viewing with our hand-picked recommendations. Whether you enjoy entertainment,
absolutely fantastic.
delight in drama,
Yeah, you said it, baby.
like discovering documentaries,
The physics is the same everywhere in the universe.
love a laugh,
Why are you dressed as the man from Del Monte?
or just want to kid around.
You're Lord!
But if you miss a show, don't worry, we can help you with that too. Every day we pick the very best programs from the nation's most popular on-demand players, so you can start watching brilliant telly right now.
I don't know how, but you managed to make that sound a little risque.
Check out the even better Showcase via the home menu. And it's not just on your TV, it's on our website. And you can use our clever little telly app to plan your viewing or set recordings when you're out and about. How smart is that?
30 seconds for feedback where we've got to move on and pick some winners.
Yeah, I really appreciated the curated aspect of it. Again, just the human aspect of being able to build those lists, and I felt like there was a brand present throughout. I think in some points it felt a little noisy with a lot of pink splashes everywhere, I would say, but at the same time, I think when you look at it, you know it's FreeSat, so it was good.
I think they took a fairly traditional guide and added some more interactive elements, which is a nice mix of like what people are familiar with, plus some things that are new.
There was a level of simplicity to it, which I could respect too, because I find it's sometimes a little bit hard to, debate on all the metadata and pieces that you should and shouldn't have on the screen. And it felt like in some areas they made good decisions on really just displaying what was pertinent to make a choice or things of that nature.
I don't think there'd be a long learning curve for this one. I think you'd be up to speed with it really fast, which
Yeah.
might mean it's less innovative but easier to use, which is,
yeah.
which is good.
All right, so now we're going to do our popular vote. This is the people's choice. We'll do this with old-fashioned applause meter. Could we please put up the applause meter? It's coming, so I'm using an app called Noise. Oh, okay, we'll show the phone. Okay, he doesn't want to switch to it. Hang on. That's okay, we're flexible. So I have an official applause meter app called Noise. So let's practice real fast. We're going to have you cheer. So just do a practice cheer here for me, okay? Ready? 1, 2, 3. You want this one to win? Okay. All right, so let's get this started here. Is it AltaCast? All right, that registered a 19. All right, is it CNN Go? That was a 23. All right, is it FreeSat Showcase? That got an 11. All right, see, now you wish you'd sat up front, right? It pays to be up front. All right, is it the Peel Smart Remote? I've got a Peel, all right. And then finally, is it the Showtime ShowSync app? All right, that registered a 28. Still going, trying to pause it. But I think it's clear that that was the winner of the People's Choice. Is there anyone here from Showtime? ShowSync, yes, come on up. You win a coffee mug of champions. Yes, and one for the, okay. Come collect your Dragons of Design coffee mug. There you go, thank you very much. Quick word, that's a great app. Acceptance speech.
Well, we've spent a lot of time thinking about this user experience and making sure that it enhances the program and it doesn't interrupt it, and it was also great to hear that people are recognizing that, so that's exciting. Thank you very much.
All right, now let's see if the judges got it right. Let's see. We have 2 runners up, and we have a winner. Bobby, would you hold that mic for me, please?
I'm so nervous.
We have a second runner up. Remember, the judges don't know the results here. So our second runner up for the 2014 TV show of TV Tomorrow show, Interface Showcase, is CNN Go. Let's pass that down to Rebecca, unless there's anyone else here from CNN Go.
I'll give this to him.
Our first round, they can frame that. Okay. Our first runner-up for the 2014 TV of Tomorrow show, Interface Showcase, is AltaCast for AltaView. Is everyone here from AltaCast? All right, we will accept this on their behalf. Oh, here, hey. All right, here, come grab your piece of paper. This is, we'll get to you later. That is your certificate. Another, would you like a mug? We'll get to you in just a second. All right, now, for the winner of the Judge's pick for the Interface Showcase, we have this lovely item, and your name will be added to it later, right? But your name is not on here, could not be on here, because the judges did not know who the winner was. Only a select few of us did. And we'll have the winner right after this break. And the winner of the 2014 TV OT Interface Showcase is Showtime for Show Sync. So thank you, the people got it right. Thank you to the judges. Thank you to everybody who entered. We had so many more entries than last year, so many great videos. So we really appreciate showing off the best work. All right, thanks a lot.